This is the story of a woman named Amy who did something incredibly evil to her own husband. Amy was 17 years old when this story began, living in Kentucky. From a young age, she had a deep love for money. She admired luxury, nice cars, expensive clothes, and lavish vacations, everything money could buy. Unfortunately for her, she worked as a waitress at a local diner, and her job couldn't support the lifestyle she craved. What she truly wanted was a man who could finance her dreams. In 1986, she met that man, Bob. He was 23 years old and already successful. He owned a chimney sweeping business and about 20 rental properties, making him financially stable and exactly what Amy was looking for. The attraction was mutual, and they soon began dating. 4 years later, in 1990, they got married. As time passed, Bob's business expanded into roofing and grew into a company worth millions. With wealth pouring in, their lifestyle transformed. They owned multiple cars, a private plane, a luxury boat, and numerous properties. Amy finally had everything she had ever wanted. But it wasn't enough. Driven by greed, Amy wanted even more. She began looking for ways to secretly take money from Bob's business. The opportunity came when Bob, who loved working but hated dealing with taxes and paperwork, asked her to handle the company's finances. With her background in business administration from a local community college, he trusted her completely. Amy took control of everything: bookkeeping, tax filings, and financial management. Instead of paying taxes, she began diverting the money to herself. She would write checks to the IRS to make it appear legitimate, but never send them. Instead, she kept the money. This wasn't a one-time act. She repeated it over and over again. Within months, she had stolen around $100,000. As expected, the IRS noticed the missing payments and began sending notices. Amy intercepted the mail and hid it. She even set up a secret P.O. box to reroute all IRS correspondence and redirected calls meant for Bob to her own phone. Meanwhile, she used the stolen money to maintain their extravagant lifestyle, building a massive custom home inspired by a castle, hosting expensive houseboat parties, and secretly stashing large amounts of cash. Years passed, and the fraud continued. Eventually, the IRS showed up at their home. Bob wasn't there, but Amy was. They informed her that Bob owed substantial back taxes and could face prison if the issue wasn't resolved. She acted surprised and promised to inform him, but she never did. By 2005, Amy had stolen approximately $1.7 million. As a final attempt, the IRS called the house and insisted on speaking directly with Bob. Amy pretended to be him on the phone, lowering her voice, but the agents became suspicious. They informed her they would visit in person the next day. Now desperate, Amy realized everything was about to collapse. If Bob found out, she could lose everything: her marriage, her children, and her lifestyle. So she made a deadly decision. That night, she slipped sleeping pills into her children's food to ensure they wouldn't witness anything. After they passed out, she waited for Bob to fall asleep. Then she took a pistol, entered his bedroom, and shot him, killing him. She staged the scene to look like a robbery, trashing the house. She collected the 4 shell casings and hid them in the washing machine. Afterwards, she called 911. When police arrived, they quickly sensed something was wrong. The scene appeared too perfect, with no footprints outside. Eventually, they found the hidden shell casings, raising even more suspicion. Still, there was no direct evidence linking Amy to the murder, until the IRS learned of Bob's death.
already suspicious, they contacted investigators and revealed the history of unpaid taxes, Amy's interception of communications, and her attempt to impersonate Bob. This led police to dig deeper, uncovering that Amy had been in charge of the company's finances and had been stealing the money for years. With the truth exposed, Amy was arrested. She later took a plea deal and was sentenced to a minimum of 20 years in prison.